Fascinating. Kate, thank you for that summary. Thanks a lot. David Parsons, a few minutes ago, said that, that prophecy is not set in stone, right? However, there's one place that prophecy is set in stone, and that is Ir David. It's wonderful to have with us AnaRina who is the one who really greets a lot of journalists and shows them around Ir David. And I think that in Israel especially, you notice that there's a lot of stories about biblical archaeology in the news, and depending on what newspaper you're reading, they report on it very, very differently. In fact, in this museum, there's a wonderful exhibit about the area of Beit Shemesh, near where our office is and where we live. There's a city, and there's a big debate amongst the School of Archaeology in Tel Aviv and in Hebrew University. Tel Aviv University says that this is evidence, the biblical archaeology is evidence that there was greater Philistine influences in this region, and then Hebrew University says no, the biblical archaeology shows that this is evidence of a Judean kingdom in this region. And so even biblical archaeology is often politicized here, and obviously at Ir David very much so. However, so many people are really missing the bigger picture. The bigger picture is that in Israel we are uncovering evidence of the proof of the Bible, and AnaRina is the expert in that, and it's so nice to have you and to hear what you have to say about what are the promises and pitfalls, especially when it comes to biblical archaeology.
Thank you, Turi. Thank you everybody for having us here. I wanted to say the same thing. We do have prophecy set in stone, and we definitely have a very visible gorilla in the city of David. You can't not see what's happening there. I'm working at the city of David. It's the nuclear power plant of prophecy. So if you want to come and see prophecy being fulfilled every day, you just come to the city of David to see that happen. Shake off your dust, arise, take your rightful place, O Jerusalem. Happening every day there. And everybody, if you have your Bibles here, you can take it out. Now everybody's going to take out their cell phones. I just want to show you something, if those who can go to Jeremiah, because I think it's very important for what we look at today. It's Jeremiah 15, and it says there in verse 19, therefore thus says the Lord, if you return and I bring thee back, you shall stand before me. And if you can take the precious out of the vial. We're talking about fake news and how people don't understand how you can distinguish. You just look at Israel. Firstly, you have the world, then you have Israel, then you have Jerusalem. So every time we take out, it's showing the holiness. It's like separating things. And then you get to Jerusalem and you have the temple and you have the courtyard and then the holies and then the Holy of Holies. And then you get to Harry when it comes to the ark, and within the ark it's got 3 layers as well, and every time you keep on extracting the truth there, and this is what Jerusalem stands for. Jerusalem also equals everybody out. It equals the truth out, and that's what we need to understand at the city of David. Biblical archaeology, since we started, every time we look at excavation, sometimes we've looked at the Bible for 2,000 years and we didn't understand what's going on. Suddenly you get to the excavations and the whole picture comes about. Sometimes we look at the excavations and we have no idea what we're looking at, and then you come to the Bible and the whole picture comes together. So finally we're starting to see this city also showing us her blueprint, and as she's showing us her blueprint, we're starting to understand a few things as well. I'm going to break the question down. Biblical archaeology first, the Bible. ISIS helps me tremendous in this specific, when it comes to the biblical remembering our history. ISIS goes about and they want to destroy all the archaeology. When you come to the city of David, you can see how we preserve everything. The Givati parking lot, if you come there, you will see that we preserved everything, all the civilizations. We didn't just dig down to the Jewish stuff. We left everything so that you can actually see the whole story of Jerusalem, what history was, and also the present where we are now, and also how that will pan out in the future. Then it comes to archaeology. You said Christians have 2 Christians and 3 opinions. Jewish people a little bit more. And when you put Israeli archaeologists in one room, it's quite a different story altogether. But there's a few things when you come to the city of David that you know that this is where it happened. It's irrefutable. So when UNESCO comes and tells me that we have no heritage there, I show them the Freedom of Zion coin that I brought here today. For the Freedom of Zion, this coin was minted 2,000 years ago. And at that stage, the message didn't come true. And now when we started to dig down, we got these coins, and it calls for the freedom of Zion. And suddenly we sit here, and we can see how Zion has been liberated. But Zion has to be liberated also in our understanding of what it is, of the understanding of what the temple stands for, and what needs to happen again. And that's very, very important for us as well. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Shalu Shalom Yerushalayim. And now we know that Shalom doesn't mean peace. Really, Shalom means? Thank you. Who's been at my tour? We understand. Pray for the wholeness of Jerusalem. Now that means that an ancient city has to rise. It means if God's prophecies are standing, it means that there is an ancient city that has to realign with her heavenly counterpart. Written in the word Yerushalayim, because it's plural, and we have a heavenly Jerusalem and we have an earthly Jerusalem, then it means that these things have to line up, and this city is rising up. And again, people can now be part of that specific prophecy fulfillment. Let's talk about journalism. Journalism usually comes political or religious. You have different streams coming, and we welcome everybody at the City of David, because there is no way that you can refute what you see there. And still people would come and they would put a little their swing on what they want. But if you read the Bible, we always go and we say, wow, this is a wonderful story. I mean, the story of David, the story of this. But put yourself in the shoes of that story where it happened, and it was all politics. It was at that moment, it was politics. Go to Nehemiah, to Ezra, when they had to rebuild the wall. Look at how these people had to fight the politics around them. And they just had to believe that this is going to happen. So when it comes to these things, the Bible and politics and everything goes together, and we just have to embrace that and see what to make from that. Pitfalls. I want to talk a little bit about the pitfalls when it comes to, let's go to the religious side of the journalism as well. When it comes to prophecy, people are very much into the sensation of prophecy. Prophecy is usually because the doomsday things that's going to happen, and I really appreciate what Kate said about that. You have to center yourself. You have to center yourself on what God said, but you have to center yourself also on what prophecy is and the tremendous system in which prophecy is built in. Timing is everything. Timing in prophecy, even if you go to the prophet, you will see on this day, on this month, God spoke to the prophet. Many times those days line up with the Hebrew months, that we understand everything has a different character in every month. And you can start learning about those things and securing yourself in understanding how prophecy will play itself out. For me, the fake fact, if you come to the City of David, it's very, you see a little bit of sanity. You see rational, stable prophecy fulfillment taking place as God said. You come and see how we dig down and we see how things are revealing itself, and you know that we are in a place where things are definitely speeding up. What is beautiful for me is when Charles Warren came in 1867, he rediscovered the ancient city, and I know that there's people that probably don't know what the City of David is. The City of David is the home to the true home to the actual location of the ancient biblical Jerusalem. As most people think that it lies within the confines of the old city, the actual city, Zion, in the times of the first temple period, lies outside the old city, except for Temple Mount. And if you want to start realigning yourself, as we start realigning ourselves physically with the city, a spiritual realignment takes place. This city is realigning herself with her heavenly counterpart, but as we realign ourselves with the city, some massive spiritual dynamics also happen. If we uncover this city, we're opening up her voice, and she starts calling back her children, her sons. So what's happening is everybody that's part of this, of the excavations, is part of a massive dynamic of bringing the sons of Israel back to their land. And then there's an amazing opening up in the hearts of everybody, because I believe there's a lot of the 10 tribes that are waking up to this whole thing as well, and they also want to know. So this conference that we have today is the pioneers. Remember how many people are sitting here and how many people are actually watching, and see where we will be in a year's time from now. Why do I say that? Because Charles Warren, in 1867, he rediscovered the ancient city. And I've got Jürgen from the Christian Embassy to thank for this, so please tell him this. But he also pointed out that exactly 50 years later, Allenby, in 1917, he liberated Jerusalem. Another 50 years later, we had the reunification of the old city that brought us back to in reach of this ancient city that is now being discovered. And right now, where we're sitting right now, we're in the next cycle, which we just entered into. And you can obviously be very, very excited of what we're going to see within these times. But this last cycle is actually also intertwined with the 70th year of Israel as well. And that's the year of a king. So we have tremendous overlaps here that we can definitely believe and know that we will see tremendous things happening, and also seeing that in the city. So here I have history actually unlocking the future. If you come to the city of David, it's not just getting back to history. The more we go into history, we start seeing the future unfolding itself as well. And King Solomon said that. He said, what is was, and what will be was. And God seeks the pursuit. So we can see the cycles happening. And these cycles are so evident right now that it's impossible not to understand how to align yourself. So the question is how to align yourself, how to understand prophecy, past, present, future. I think there's a big awakening now to what they call mindfulness, consciousness. Because work and everything pulls you every time out about stressing about the future or worrying about the past. And you have to sit in the future, even in the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in the name of God. The present is very present in His name. Also in the same name we have the past and the future. But His name itself says you cannot meet with Him if you don't sit in the future. So as much as we want to go into prophecy, as much as we want to really see these end of days come, you should put yourself where you are right now to make sure that you take care of what is here, so that you are ready for what to come. Because otherwise, if you keep on pushing yourself forward, you're going to miss your preparation of what you need to do for the times coming. So sit into the present, sit into who you are. And if we are sitting here in Jerusalem, here we sit, for 2,000 years the Jewish people prayed, generation after generation, to come back to this place. And you are sitting here, then you know what the responsibility is, to know exactly at this moment what to do. And then gear yourself up for the future. To also know that you will be ready for the times coming. So if you come to the city of David, you will see facts on the ground. In fact, you can become a tangible part of that prophecy fulfillment. On your walls of Jerusalem, I have appointed watchmen all day and all night. They will never keep silent. You who remind the Lord, keep not silent. Give no rest to yourself, and give Him no rest until He establishes Jerusalem as a praise to the earth. Now it says day and night. In the last 3 months, we opened up a third shift in the excavations. And now we are working around the clock to liberate the city from her millennia-old prison. And as she's being liberated, we see tremendous dynamics happening. So become part of that at the City of David. We have a program for that, the Jerusalem Watch. What Tuli said, www.jerusalem-watch.com. Become part of it. Because it also says, for the sake of my friends and my family, I will say, let wholeness be within you. There's a security, there's an insurance policy on that. And for more than that, whatever you've heard today, you are the guys, you are the ambassadors that needs to go and tell the people about this. And tell the people about the real facts on the ground, whether it's political or religious or prophecy. And make sure that the world knows, and make sure that the world lines up. Thank you.
Thanks, AnaRina.